Have you ever watched someone in their 90s walk across the room with quiet strength? No walker, no cane, just pure grace. There is a profound beauty in a life lived long and well, a story written not just in years, but in the gentle cadence of their movements. We often see aging as a relentless decline, a series of losses that we must simply endure. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the process of growing older is not a retreat, but an evolution? A chance to cultivate a different kind of strength, one rooted in wisdom, resilience, and a deep, quiet connection to the world around us. In the grand tapestry of life, each thread represents a day, a choice, a moment. Today, we embark on a journey, not to distant lands, but deep within ourselves. We will explore the subtle, often unseen forces that shape our later years. It is a story of biology, of spirit, and of hope. It is the story of how we can learn to slow down, not in defeat, but in reverence for the incredible journey our bodies and minds have taken. What if the secret to aging gracefully lies deep within our cells at the very tips of our DNA? Here, we find tiny protective caps called telomeres, much like the plastic ends of a shoelace. With every cell division, with every passing year, these protectors naturally shorten. It is a biological clock, ticking away quietly, relentlessly, inside every one of us. This process, known as telomere erosion, is one of the fundamental hallmarks of aging. It is the slow, imperceptible fraying of the very threads that hold our genetic story together. As these telomeres diminish, our cells lose their ability to replicate perfectly. They become more vulnerable to the stresses of life. It's a subtle shift, one we cannot feel day to day, but its effects accumulate over a lifetime. Think of a cherished piece of cloth, worn thin over decades of use. The fabric of our being, too, can grow delicate. Have you noticed this in someone you love? A new fragility, a slower pace in their healing, a certain weariness that seems to settle deep in their bones. This is not a flaw in our design. It is, in fact, a part of it. A natural, programmed process that has guided life on this planet for millennia. But understanding this process gives us a profound opportunity. It allows us to see that the small, gentle choices we make, the food we eat, the peace we cultivate in our minds, the movement we embrace, can influence this cellular story. We may not be able to stop the clock, but perhaps we can persuade it to tick a little more slowly, a little more kindly. Sometimes the body's quiet battles are the hardest to see. Deep within us, a silent fire can smolder for years, even decades. This is chronic inflammation, a persistent, low-grade state of alert for our immune system. Unlike the acute inflammation that helps us heal from an injury, this chronic state is a subtle, ongoing stress. It is like an engine left running day and night, slowly wearing down its own parts. This quiet battle contributes to nearly every major age-related condition we know. It is a response to a modern world our bodies were not entirely designed for. Processed foods, chronic stress, a sedentary life, these are the sparks that can ignite this internal fire. It is a paradox of our own making. A system designed to protect us can, when perpetually activated, begin to harm us. It can stiffen our arteries, cloud our minds, and ache in our joints. It is the unseen architect of much of the frailty we associate with growing older. Could this be happening inside you, or someone you care for? The signs are often mistaken for just getting old. Persistent fatigue, unexplained aches, a general feeling of being unwell. But this is not an inevitable fate. It is a conversation the body is trying to have with us. It is asking for balance. It is asking for nourishment, for rest, for moments of calm. By learning to listen to these quiet signals, we can begin to quell the flames. We can choose to douse the fire with anti-inflammatory foods, with gentle movement, and with the profound medicine of a peaceful mind. Strength isn't just about lifting, but about holding on. It is the power to rise from a chair with ease, to carry our own groceries, to embrace a grandchild without a tremor. As we age, our bodies naturally undergo a process called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass and function. It begins subtly, often as early as our 30s, a quiet departure of the very tissue that allows us to interact with our world. This is not a failure of will. It is a biological tide, pulling away strength year by year. The consequences are profound. It is not merely about aesthetics or athletic prowess. It is about independence. It is about resilience. Our muscles are our metabolic engine, our armor against falls, our reservoir of strength for times of illness. When they diminish, our world can begin to shrink. A simple walk becomes a challenge, a staircase an obstacle. Have you felt your own strength change over the years? A jar that is harder to open, a feeling of instability where once there was solid ground. But here too lies a story of immense hope. Our muscles are remarkably responsive. They are waiting for a signal, a reason to stay, a purpose to fulfill. They do not ask for grueling, punishing workouts. They ask for consistency. They ask to be used. Gentle resistance, the simple act of walking, of stretching, of carrying a weight. These are the messages that tell our muscles, you are still needed. It is a conversation we can have with our bodies every single day, reminding them to hold on, to remain strong, to carry us gracefully through all our years. Memories are the threads that weave our story. They are the collection of moments, faces, and feelings that create the tapestry of who we are. But as we age, we may find that this tapestry can begin to fray. The vibrant colors may seem to fade, and some threads may come loose. This is what we call cognitive decline, a process that can range from simple, momentary forgetfulness to more profound changes in our ability to think, reason, and remember. It is, for many, the most feared aspect of growing older. The brain, this astonishingly complex organ, is not immune to the passage of time. Connections between neurons can weaken, and the production of essential chemical messengers can slow. We see it in the small moments. A word that rests on the tip of the tongue, a name that vanishes just as we reach for it, a fleeting confusion about where we are or what we were doing. Have you ever watched a loved one search for a word or a memory, their eyes looking inward for something that was just there a moment ago? It is a deeply human and often painful experience. It can feel like a slow erasure of the self. Yet, the brain possesses a remarkable quality known as neuroplasticity, the ability to forge new connections, to reroute pathways, to learn and adapt throughout our entire lives. Our minds are not static. They are dynamic, living things. They thrive on curiosity, on challenge, on social connection. By continuing to learn, to engage with the world, to share stories, we are actively reweaving our own cognitive tapestry, strengthening the threads that hold our precious memories. It is easy to see these processes, the fraying cells, the silent inflammation, the loss of strength and memory, as a relentless march toward an inevitable end. A story of decline with only one possible conclusion. But what if there's a turning point? What if this is not the whole story? Across the globe, there are pockets of extraordinary longevity and vitality. Places where walking into your 90s with grace is not the exception, but the norm. They are called the Blue Zones. In these communities, from Okinawa in Japan to Sardinia in Italy, people are living longer, healthier, and happier lives. They are not chasing fads or following extreme regimens. They are living in a way that naturally supports the very foundations of health we have just explored. Their lives are a testament to a different possibility. This is the turning point in our story. It is the moment we shift our gaze from the problems of aging to the solutions. The wisdom of the Blue Zones is not found in a pill or a high-tech procedure. It is found in the simple, profound habits woven into the fabric of their daily lives, moving naturally, eating wisely, and perhaps most importantly, connecting deeply with one another. This is where hope resides. It is the understanding that we have the power to change the narrative, to turn from a story of decline to one of graceful, vibrant living. In the end, what we leave behind is more than years. It's our legacy. It is not measured in the quantity of our days, but in the quality of the life we lived within them, and the light we shared with others. The journey through our later years is, perhaps, the final and most important chapter in the creation of this legacy. It is where the wisdom we have gathered can truly shine, where our story finds its deepest meaning. It is the culmination of a lifetime of choices, challenges, and love. The habits we have explored, nurturing our cells, calming our bodies, maintaining our strength, and engaging our minds, are not merely strategies for longevity. They are acts of self-respect. They are the tools we use to craft a legacy of vitality and grace, to remain a presence in the lives of those we love, not as a burden, but as a source of strength, of wisdom, of joy. What will your story be? Will it be one of quiet retreat, or one of continued, gentle engagement with the beautiful, precious gift of life? The final years need not be a slow fading. They can be a masterpiece, a time of reflection, of connection, of sharing the unique story that only you can tell. By embracing these gentle habits, we are not just adding years to our life, but adding life to our years. We are choosing to author a final chapter filled with purpose and peace. We are choosing to leave behind a legacy not of what we lost to time, but of the grace with which we lived it. The journey of aging is a universal one, a path we all walk. Yet the way we travel it is deeply personal. The story is not over. In fact, for many of us, the most meaningful chapters are yet to be written. The choices we make today, no matter how small they may seem, ripple forward, shaping the grace and vitality of our tomorrows. It is a quiet, powerful revolution we can start within ourselves, a commitment to honoring the incredible vessel that has carried us through life. We are not powerless against the tides of time. By understanding the forces at play and embracing a gentler way of living, we can navigate our later years with intention and hope. We can build a life that is not only longer, but richer, deeper, and more connected. This is the ultimate act of self-love and the greatest gift we can give to ourselves and to those who will walk beside us. Your story is precious. Nurture it, cherish it, and let it shine brightly. If this reflection resonated with you, I invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to Wise Reflection for more stories on living a graceful and meaningful life. Leave a comment below and share your own experience or the wisdom you've learned from a loved one. Share this video with someone who might find comfort and inspiration in its message. Thank you for sharing this time with me.